This beautiful day. I see a lot of handsome and beautiful faces out there. We're welcome to all that are new and all that have been here before. We're all family. So let's go ahead and stand up and open up our service with, we haven't done this in a little while, Barry's original song,
Yes.
Unity on the Mountaintop. So it's one of those songs you get, clap your hands. Hold on.
Unity on the mountaintop, unity. Yeah, come on up to the mountaintop, come on up, come on up. Feel His presence and feel His love and unity on the mountain up high. Unity, that's for me on the mountaintop. Yeah, yeah, just one presence, His love expressed in unity on the mountain. Come on up, we won't let you down on the mountaintop. Unity. Unity on the mountaintop. Unity. Yeah, come on up to the mountaintop. Come on up. Come on up. Know His presence and feel His love and unity on the mountain. Unity, that's for me on the mountaintop. Yeah, yeah, just one presence, His love expressed in unity on the mountain. Come on up, we won't let you down on the mountaintop. Unity. Come on up, we won't let you down on the mountaintop. Unity.
We're going to say good morning to your fellow neighbors. Are you? Were you having this morning?
Hello. Morning. Nice to meet you. You are? I thought so. Hi, how are you, Laura? It's good to see you. No worries. No worries.
Within each and every one of us, our divine potential. Let us get in touch with that, really get to know it, exercise it, and express it out here in the world. All those wonderful spirit qualities. We have them, unless you use them.
Yes.
Let us say together our vision and mission statements.
Centered in God, we inspire spiritual transformation, creating a world of love, peace, and prosperity. We are an inclusive spiritual community, inspiring, awakening, and serving in love.
The children's blessing. And we are graced with some children this morning. This is wonderful. We're so happy you're here with us. Let us think of the precious children in our lives, out there in the world. There are a lot of them, millions of them, that need our special prayers and help. And let us bless them all by saying, we love you,
we bless you, we behold the Christ in you. We accept you just the way you are. Walk in beauty, you are divine.
And just a moment to say, we do have our Sunday school teacher for the youngins, so if anybody of the kids want to go upstairs and be with Miss Marlena, they are more than welcome. They do some games, a little lessons, and you guys are welcome to go if you want, or you can stay down here. It's totally up to you. So, that's it. And we're going to go ahead and stand and sing a song called Feel the Love. Very flowy. I'll guide you through. Very flowy. Carmen Mochi. We are all in oneness. Feel the love today. We are all in oneness. Feel
Would an usher please bring forward the prayer box?
Prayer, it is the focus of unity. That connection, that understanding our oneness, being still and knowing I am God. Allowing ourselves to open to that God energy in every situation. Holding that awareness of God energy for those who are, wherever they are in situations, are not being able to do that for themselves. So we can hold their God energy. We support that. We are one with them. We are one with God, but we are one with each other. So in this awareness of wholeness, of love, of joy, of peace, we accept healing, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, situational. We accept that divine energy flowing in and through us, in and through every situation and person. And we say, thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Carol. All right. Robert, how are you doing? Richard, pardon me.
Daily word for today. Spirit provides all that I need for triumphant living. I want to just say a bit about spirit because I listened to a City Arts and Lecture series on NPR and there was a dialogue between a scientist and a monk. That was very interesting. And just to say, that we believe that we are a spirit with a body. Now the scientific community kind of has it reversed. That's their story. That we're a body with a spirit. So spirit is something you invent or magical or something like that. So it's not real. But we don't believe it that way. And I don't believe it that way. Okay. There are times when I have pulled through adversity, loss, or trauma. Some of these victories were not easy because I resisted at first. Other times I may have struggled with feeling lost and alone, but my faith assured me that God and I are one. God is always with me. This knowledge strengthens my faith, wisdom, and peace of mind. I'll use that. The spiritual tools I need as I move forward in faith and courage. Hard to read this. I willingly meet all the events of my life by viewing them as growth opportunities. The triumphant pattern of my life is woven. Through prayer I follow divine inner guidance, tapping into my creativity and engaging in the effective joy of collaboration. Spirit provides all that I need for triumphant living. And then 2 Corinthians 2:14. But thanks be to God who in Christ always leads us in triumphant procession. That's our daily word.
ourselves, still our minds, and heal perhaps our hands. Prepare ourselves for saying our sacred names. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
And as we continue into our sacred space, at this time we have a meditation opportunity. And this morning I am going to do a little bit different type of meditation. It will not be an image or vision. You are free to develop any vision that you choose inside your heads. You can decide to look at a waterfall or the heavens or the trees. But I'm going to guide us into a cleansing meditation for this season in preparation for our sacred Passover next week and Easter the week after. And so if you choose, close your eyes, take a deep breath, plant your feet on the floor and recognize your seat and your back are supported and you are safe in this space with others here. We breathe in inspiration. We breathe out that love, that oneness that we've been talking about already this morning. We breathe deeply that inspiration. And we know that we are one with energy and with God. We say this morning, as we think of ourselves gently and beautifully, I forgive myself. This is my new mantra. I forgive myself for maybe for not being there. I forgive myself for not always being kind. I forgive myself. And you decide what you want to forgive yourself for. Forgive myself for being sharp-tongued at times. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And if as you're saying this you slip into I forgive and name someone else, that's all right too. I forgive. I am a divine being. I forgive. I forgive myself. Forgive myself. Let us share a bit of silence for a moment and forgive ourselves for whatever it is. You are the only one that knows or sees what you're forgiving yourself. You have that power. I forgive myself. Breathe. Breathe in the silence. Gently come back to awareness. Take all those things you forgive and push them into the ground. Push them away to be washed clean in the river of the underground waters. forget myself. It is gone. It is gone. I don't have to carry it anymore. I don't have to think it. I forgive myself. And as you're ready, come back to awareness gently in this room. And know that you are cleansed and you are forgiven. Open your eyes and come back and breathe deeply in that sacred space that we share. So once again, Spirit has inspired us to be at one with our music. What was the song we just sang about? Feel the love. And weave us together. And all, I don't know, 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, Carol asked me if I would speak this morning. And I said, sure, I don't know, what am I going to talk about? So what kept going through my mind? What the world needs now is love. So our thoughts are in sync, as often happens here, that my talk fits in with the songs that we've already sung and that we will hear and participate in. I tried this, or did this meditation with you this morning as a cleansing meditation. We need to get rid of things in our hearts and our thoughts. Imagine with me, if you will, how powerful our thoughts are. And if we have all those negative things that keep going through our brains, and I know you have them too, the ones that look in the mirror and say, where did that come from? What is this here? That didn't used to be there. And oh my gosh, I need a larger size again. You know, all those little things, like where this eyebrow, all of a sudden there's one brow that sticks out, and I've got one here that just sprouts out. For no reason, I lost all of the hair on my head at one point, and this one just grew like a chicken. So we have all these negative things, especially about ourselves. I didn't do that right. I could have said that better. I could have walked up the steps better. Anything and everything. We are trained, it seems, to be engineers and look at what are the flaws and what could go wrong. And heaven help me, I don't know if I can do this right. So cleanse all that this morning with this mantra you can take with you. I forgive myself. Right? I did the best I could. I've done the best I can. I am doing the best I can. Debbie came over last night. Preece just scared me. She walks up to my front door. I wasn't expecting anybody. And it's sort of twilight, and I'm thinking, who's that? She came in and talked to me, and I said, I gotta get ready for my talk. I'm still writing it. I don't know what I'm going to say. She said, well, you're always entertaining. I'm not sure it's a compliment. I'm not sure. No, damn, I think it is, but I'm not sure. I try and be informative and inspiring. And if all you remember is entertaining, then maybe I missed a little bit. So please, pay attention now. I'm going to inform you. So, laughter is such a healing energy. Can you feel it? Can you feel that healing energy? And that's what comes through when I give a talk, when I speak, when I meet my purpose in life, is to help inform and inspire others. We must forgive ourselves in order to make room for love to come in. If I've still got all that negative stuff in there, how can I love somebody else? If I don't think I'm worth it or worthy of it or valuable, how can I love somebody else and bring them and share? And I've had times in my life when I say, I'm not ready for a relationship right now, thank you very much. And other times when I say, okay, I'm ready now. I'm beautiful, I'm a child of God, and I live in this world and I want to share it with somebody. And that works too. We manifest what we think. Our thoughts are so powerful. So when I first became aware of this power, this healing power of forgiveness, really, that I remember was in 2008, a friend of ours, Lynn Anderson, owns the Yurt Garden somewhere around here. And she came to do some energy work for me because I was healing from leukemia. And she did all this energy and got rid of the bad stuff. And she said, well, I'm sorry, Susan, but there's this big black lump spot here in the middle of your solar plexus that you're just hanging on to, and I can't get rid of it for you. You're the one that has to do that work. I said, what in the world are you talking about? I got these toxic chemicals coming in over here, and you're trying to give me this good energy and get rid of the bad stuff over there. I don't know what you mean. She said, well, you got to forgive something. You have to forgive somebody. So, okay, I went through the whole list. There was my brother who did this. There was my uncle who did that. There was my grandfather. You know, and I went through all these. My mother, you know, didn't do that. And, oh, yeah, there was the family legend about Uncle Harry who stole some property from the guy next door. And we're still mad at him and we don't talk to him. And then there was the woman at church, at the Lutheran church in Wisconsin, who stole my recipe for chicken noodle soup with tuna, you know, and I'm still mad at her because she tried to show me up by sprinkling those.
I want that recipe.
And so, think of all that baggage we carry around. I said, okay, so I got rid of all them, I forgive, all right. And finally it dawned on me, I have to forgive myself. There's something in here that even though I might feel those people did something that made me angry and upset, there's still something inside me that I'm mad about. I failed myself. I let them do that. I allowed that. I didn't just stand up and say, hey, I'm a child of God. You can't steal my recipe. You know? It doesn't matter what you think. I'm here. And I'm important. Because I'm here and I'm beautiful. So I have to forgive myself. And that is still an ongoing process. But I'm taking lessons. I'm learning. And I wanted to share a couple places where I've learned about this. It's not just me standing up here saying that. I mean, even Jesus at one point said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And he came and brought us that message about forgiveness. So where have I heard about this before? Right now, our buddy Renee Beckett was teaching this course. It's called It's Never Too Late to Begin Again by Julia Cameron. And in here, you learn to look at yourself, you write a memoir, you do some creative activities to get that spark going again, and allow yourself to be a child and sort of reset all those barriers that you might have set up, you know, reset those false notions that you have in your life. And it's fun, too. It's kind of fun. I also, long ago, back when I was learning about getting rid of that black spot inside of my solar plexus, I read about Louise Hay, who wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life. And Louise did a whole decade, at least, maybe 2 or 3 decades worth of research, especially with a population who were being plagued with AIDS when that first came out. And all of her work in here, she says over and over again, love and forgiveness, self-forgiveness is the miracle cure. If you don't love yourself, that disease is going to take over. Those other people are going to take over your life. And so love yourself is the miracle cure. We can feel love for many things, she says. You can love lots of things, horses and dogs and cats and trees and bushes and that street that you live on. But the toughest thing is to remember to love myself. Rumi, our buddy Rumi from way back when, what decade was he born in, do you remember?
700s.
700s, okay, that long ago. Rumi figured out, he said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So your job is to seek within yourself. What barriers have I put up to keep love from coming in, to keep forgiveness away from me? Let's get rid of them. We don't need those barriers. We want to be loved. We know we are loved. And in Zero Limits, this one just makes me laugh every time because his theory is called Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian word, and it means that I heal everything in this world by healing myself and forgiving myself. And so this psychiatrist sat in his office in Hawaii and healed some of the worst psychiatric criminals in this center where he was working. He never even talked with some of them. He just sat there, held their folder with their information and said, I am so sorry. It is all my fault. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And they were healed. Besides himself, he healed the others. And so we learn here in unity that we are all connected, we are all one, and if we help others, we also help ourselves, and vice versa, right? So both Louise Hay and Julia Cameron recommend an exercise to try to help you to remember to love yourself. And so they say every morning in the mirror when you're shaving or you're plucking that one funny hair or you're putting on your eyebrows, look in the mirror and look at yourself, look yourself in the eye, even as if you were another person. Well, how would you look at another person? Lovingly, friendly, say, "Good morning, Susan. I love you, and you are forgiven. You are divine. I love you and accept you exactly the way you are," just as we say the children's blessing. You are divine. Try that for 21 days, 3 weeks, to change a habit about the way you think about yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror once a day, twice a day, every time you wash your hands, and say, "I love you, Susan. I love you, Dean. I love you, Vicki. I love you, Debbie. You know, who are you? I love you. You are beautiful. And I accept you exactly as you are." So let's go back to that song title again for a minute. What the world needs now is love. And I like to play with words. You know, I really enjoy words. And the second line of that is something about, it's the only thing that there's just too little of. And of course, my contrary Wisconsin attitude said, "Wait a minute, what do you mean there's too little of it?" What do you mean? Everything is boundless and abundant. There's just too little love in this world? But think about when this was written. Somewhere around 1965, 64, 63. It was first recorded in 65 by Jackie DeShannon. And it was Hal David that wrote the words. And he writes a story about, he lived on Long Island somewhere, and he drove into the city of New York quite frequently, several times a week, to write music with Burt Bacharach. And on the way, one day, he got this 2 lines of lyrics. "What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of." And he couldn't figure out the music, so he gave it to Burt, and they figured out some kind of music. But think about 1965. What was going on in the world then? Vietnam was starting. Civil rights movement. And Kennedy assassination was in 63, I think. Yeah. What was this race? Space race, yes, those guys were up there trying to beat us to the moon. So there was also a lot of the peace movement, because there was a lot of turmoil in the cities, and there were people burning down cities in the United States because they were unhappy with the economic opportunities that weren't there for some folks, and just with the government in general, and going to war and burning your draft cards. And I think that was after we burned our bras, right? But that was in there too somewhere. We wanted to have peace and love and harmony, make peace, not war, make love, not war. All of that sort of thing was going on. And so this lyrics fits during that time period, I think. You know, what there's just too little of is love. I can feel like that now, can't you? Can't you feel like that? Where's the love? Where's the love? So I had that long conversation with myself and didn't come to any conclusion, except to come and talk to you guys about it. Where the love is in this church. I feel the love coming at me from each one of your beautiful faces this morning, and I thank you for that. And what we do in this church is to send out the love. We do believe in just naturally sharing with others. One of the ways that we share is by volunteering to talk, by being part of the board of directors, by collecting the money that we want to share, by collecting the goods and things that we bring for the First Stop, homeless rescue mission. No, it's not a rescue mission. Homeless day center where they can come and get services. Little things like that. That's not too much effort, you know. And once in a while we give a little more effort and we make that casserole that I was talking about. We bring it upstairs and we share it for a potluck, and you know, the luck is you open up the dish and wonder, what is that? Sometimes we put little cards on things next to things because we don't know what. But but it's always good. It's always good because it's made with love and we love to share it. We pray together. We ask for special prayers at the end of our service. All of that is sharing love with the world. We send out this vibration into the rest of the world. And it's never more evident to me how special this is than when I go and talk with somebody who doesn't have a clue about any of this love and wonderfulness that we share. And they just insist on being negative. Do you ever run into some of those folks? Oh my goodness. I'll get back to that in a minute. One of the ways that I personally share my love in the world is caregiving, to take care of other people. And you know, some of you know that I took care of a little old lady, and she was a tiny little lady who lived to be 100 years and 7 months. She died just over a year ago. And now her 2 daughters are calling me. And the last month, they've both been in the emergency room twice each. The emergency room for the eye clinic down in Birmingham, the family doctor who's over in Guntersville several times, and they can't drive. One of them is legally blind, and the other one was so sick that she needed a wheelchair to be pushed around. So I ended up spending a lot of time there and thinking, God, you said, love thy neighbor as thyself. Do I take care of myself this much? This good, you know, I was in the emergency room with each of them 12 hours at a time, sitting there waiting for something, and then one of them never did find out what the problem was exactly, but started getting better. So we have caregiving in our families. We just do it. It's just part of life. But think about this. It's part of life. And so I think we should have classes early on in life on how to do that, because it's going to happen. You're going to find somebody that needs caregiving, or else you're going to need it yourself. So let's design it the way we want to live it. You know, man, I want some of that make love, not war kind of living. You know, let's have some of that fun stuff. The second way that I've opened up my heart to the community, thanks to you guys who are all supporting me, is through the Parliament of World's Religions. And I want to talk about that for just a minute, because it's been a real interesting trip. And I gave you each one of these mass-produced folders. And I want to share with you some of the things that have been happening. And on the front here, you can see at the top, these are all internationally known speakers about interfaith dialogue and how to have a conversation with each other, and peace and harmony, how to live together in the future in a better way than what we have shown so far. And so we want to invite the world to come to Huntsville and have a conversation at the Von Braun Center, and we can fit up to 10,000 people in there. And yes, there's plenty enough room and space and parking and food and hotel rooms and everything else that we are going to need. So we've got that out of the way. Now we've worked on the inside here on this list that says our current partners. And we've gathered some folks in town that are interested in helping us. In order to prove that we had enough people in the faith community, we had a luncheon last August, and we had 45 people from how many different, 20 different faiths, like the Baha'is and several different Christian types, and the Jewish community and the Muslim community and the Sikh community, and who else was there? Just Hindus. Yay. And some of the non-believers, you know, some people who just say, well, I don't know, or I don't believe in God, and there were several of those as well. And they want to have a conversation about what does it mean to have faith and live in this society, in our world. So we have this backing. Now, for several, probably 2 months, I've been solidly saying, okay, God, I'm ready for the next step. Now we need people with money, we need corporation sponsorship, we need something bigger. I really can see all these people there in the Von Braun Center, and I want them to be watching something from NASA that says, hey, here's the view from outer space. We all live on this big blue marble, and let's get together and enjoy it and take care of it and love each other. I want the people from Hudson Alpha to come and talk about DNA and what is the difference on that level between people and what is the commonalities. I want the Pope to come and talk to us. I want to hear what he has to say. And the Dalai Lama, he's down here in the corner picture. If he's, well, let's bring him, or else bring him on Skype, you know, somehow. We have the capability of inviting these mega stars to come and talk to us about how we are one with humanity. So I've been asking for how God do I get to somebody at Hudson Alpha, how do I get to somebody at NASA to join this? Because all I kept hearing was, it's too much money, they can't talk to you because it's about religion, all these excuses, these things that it's just not going to work. So Thursday night, anybody remember Thursday night? We had a big electrical storm was supposed to be coming, and at 5:30 I'm outside of the St. John's AME Church on Church Street. And I'm going into a meeting for Interfaith Mission Service. And these are the representatives like me from different churches or synagogues or temples that represent this group to the Interfaith Mission Service. And we had a chance to talk about, here's what we're doing in our church. And one group talked about, they have a university that they put together for life skills and for learning about how to live a better life and take care of your family. And another group has a program where they feed shut-ins and older folks. They help them get to the church once a month, and they give them a lunch and talk to them about God and blessings and just socialize. So I got up and I talked about the covenant. And I got to this part where in the middle I said, okay, here's how you can help. Here's what we need in this column. And I was talking about, I'm ready now for a connection with NASA and with the Chamber of Commerce and with Hudson Alpha. And I got interrupted. I mean, how rude. Somebody started talking when I'm in the middle of asking this, you know? And it was Reggie Lewis, who's the guy, one of the founders of a group in town called REACH, Racial Equality Action Committee of Huntsville. And they started with conversations about race and equality. Twice a month, once a month. And now they've gotten to the point where they are nonprofit status and they are going forward to start some policy changes with our legislature. They're moving to that level of saying, okay, we had a discussion, this is what we want, now we want policy changes. So he interrupted me and he said, I could help you with that. I said, excuse me? He said, well, NASA and Jim Hudson from Hudson Alpha and the Chamber of Commerce are working to put together a program at the Von Braun Center about diversity. And they asked me to help, and so I could bring you with me, you know, tell me more about what you want to do. I got goosebumps. And I literally said, thank you, God. I'm done now. You know? Finished up my little conversation and just thought that's what I came here for. I mentioned the storm outside because it was supposed to be one of these tornado type storms, and it was thundering and lightning, and just, it wasn't really raining yet or blowing. We went in, you know, but it was just that electric feeling, that energy, and I thought, ooh, this is going to be a good one, and it was. It was so great. So what I see is, this is new in many communities for the corporations, for the scientists, for the government entities to come together with us in the faith community and understand that this is all part of life as well, and we can all work together to help each other. So I'll keep you posted about what happens with that. It's just still too soon to have made any more progress than that, but that was just an enormous step. So I want you to manifest with me, just like that was manifested by thinking and asking, I want to reach the next level, I want to see that next person. Help me manifest this. I asked Barry and Amy to just help us a little bit. Now first, imagine, you know the Von Braun Center, you know what that looks like? And there's that park up front, the Big Spring Park, right? And that cute little red bridge. And so just imagine thousands of people, all different costumes and headdresses and clothing and faces and standing up and sitting down and just all gathering around that. And Amy's out there on the little red bridge saying, okay now, together.
I'm game. We're going to go and sing with them. Let's
Together
these notes and sing the chorus a couple of times.
You have the chorus here in this little paper. you could stand up. Let us celebrate, right?
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. One more time, you ready? What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.
Thank you all. I can see you out there on the big spring party.
Hey, go ahead and stay standing. We're going to sing another song. We're going to sing Sing the New Religion. It's in the red book. It's 208. 208, or the words will also be up on the screen. We sing the new religion, the fellowship of men. We sing the new translation of God's primeval plan. Supremacy of goodness and love's triumphant strength. The saving grace of beauty, these are our refrain. The pathway to salvation, seek not in realms above. It lies direct before you, the guidepost made in love. Rejoice in willing servants, whose laws will labor best. You are your own Redeemer, in His pure love you're blessed. Verse 3. Awake, O soul immortal, and find the God within. This earth is hands of portal, and angels are your kin. No fable told of heaven can chain you to the sun. You are the child of glory, the messenger of God. Now you may have a seat. We actually have two guest performers this morning. Debbie's got to come all the way from the back. She's going to play her song, and then Richard will play his. So we are so excited. And I always want to say, all ages, all talents, reading a poem, singing a song, share your talents. We are always welcome to that after the second song of the service. So come to me and Barry and tell us if you'd like to do anything. So Debbie, come on down. Debbie Preece. Don't be shy. There she is. And for those who know her and may not know her, every step she takes in this journey is huge. Because she's beautiful on the inside, but we need to make sure she knows she's beautiful.
I just have to say, I am really nervous.
Breathe.
I just wanted to share just a little bit about my musical background. I started piano lessons when maybe I was 7 or 8, something like that. And it was only a few months, and I loved it. And then my parents got divorced, and that was the end of that. And then when I was about 15, I got a job and took some piano, paid for some piano lessons for myself because my family just didn't have the financial means. My mother had remarried. There was five children, and the stepfather never worked. So she worked as a clerk to support a family of 7. So then I just was away from music for years. Oh, but when I was a teenager, I used to just sit at the piano and just play stuff by ear. I would hear songs and I'd figure it out and I'd play it by ear. But, and I've had some lessons here and there. But a couple years ago, as a Christmas graduation gift after I got my master's at a very late age, as a present, my husband and I got myself a piano just like this one. And it is so fun to play. You can just do all kinds of things. I'm actually an aspiring jazz piano player, and I can record rhythm, and then I can put like a bass in the background, and then I can play the piano, and you can do all kinds of cool things with it. So I have all these songs, but I've been a really frustrated musician because I only play by myself, and I haven't had confidence to play in front of others. And just going back to my growing up, not having the encouragement or support, and I was extremely shy. And so it's been a struggle my whole life to get more confidence in myself. And this church has been just such a huge help, just asking me to do things like do the platform. Like, me? But I did it, and then got more confident, and so it's like slowly my confidence has been building. And Richard knows I was in Toastmasters with him for a couple of years as well, just trying to get confidence in myself. And last night I was playing this song, and I was actually planning on singing a song, and I sang a song for the first time about a month ago, and that was like really hard too, but it's like I just did it and got a little bit more confidence. And last night when I was practicing this song, it was just like, I just got to do it. The only way I'm going to get through this fear is just like feel the fear and do it anyway. And there's actually a book called that. And this song, I'm part of I'm taking a class Wednesday evenings with Carol Zukowski, and she played this beautiful song. And it was just like, oh my God, that song is so beautiful. I have to learn how to play that song. And so, this is the song. If I mess up or I slow down or I have to start all over again, just...
Yeah, just go.
You got this. Do it. But I know you guys don't expect perfection. God did. You are perfection. Remember that. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful song. And I'm just going to play 2 verses. And there's a little interlude, but I haven't figured it out because I only started playing this song. And in the second verse, you'll see like a space, and there's just music there. There's not a line. So anyway, so if you want to read the words as I play, or if you want to sing.
Makes my heart just, I'm so proud, I feel like she's my daughter and so happy. They come up and do one of his originals as well, so. Yes, I can do that. Do you need the chair?
No, I'll say that.
Okay.
I certainly can identify with Debbie. We were colleagues in Toastmasters, as she mentioned, and I've done the same thing. I studied much longer on the piano, 8 years. And then I took up the guitar in college. And now I'm working with Mary Morrissey, as some of you know, and I'm taking on a new career. I'm a singer-songwriter now. And I write songs, I write poetry, and I want to say it's really, when the poems come or when the songs come, they're divinely inspired. They're not mine. They're like, and when I write a song, usually the melody comes first, and then I put words to it. Well, this song, the melody came, and then I was like, well, this is about my relationship with my mother, who I had more or less been separated from, because after she when I was in the service, she gave away my entire record collection. I did not talk to her for a long time. It's like, how could you do that, Mom? So, and I bought records a lot. So anyways, this song is about relating my love for my mom. And it's called This Is a Candle. And I recorded it and sent it out to my brother, and he said, well, it's a big hit there, and I've sung it at small events. And so I'd like to share it with with y'all. This is a candle. Hopefully ours in tune. Oh, I just want to say what I need to forgive is, Rumi has a little poem that he says, we wake up with fear and doubt, bring down a musical instrument and play what you love. And I've been doing that every morning. So my thing isn't fear, it's this doubting Richard. I need to forgive myself. I can sing, I can play the guitar, for God's sake.
For God's sake.
So get out of here, doubting Richard. Got us through some hard times, and you know my heart lies.